Here are 8 things that you can implement in your business today to have a better business. The first one is something I call the 15-minute meeting rule. Now, most of us are used to 30-minute meetings, hour-long meetings, even sometimes 2-hour-long meetings, but I believe that you can accomplish everything you possibly need within a 15-minute window. Sometimes we like to just kind of stretch the time a little bit, fill it up with small talk, and that obviously that takes a whole 30-minute meeting. Right? So if we want to implement this 15-minute rule, we have to be really focused. So we have a very clear agenda sent out beforehand. Everybody knows exactly what we're going to talk about. When we get into the room for 15 minutes, we're just talking business. And this primarily is for internal meetings. Obviously, like with a client that might be a little bit rushed and they're not going to be as prepared as your internal team can be. But if you can get your internal meetings down to 15 minutes, you're literally cutting that time in half and saving yourself and them a ton of time. Instead of sitting in meetings all day, you now have a lot more time to be productive. The second one is something called the 3-second acknowledgement rule. So basically, when you have a customer service request, even if the problem can't be fixed right away, maybe it's something that's going to take a couple hours, maybe it's going to take a couple days, the customer needs to be acknowledged within 3 seconds. Now, not all of you have like an instant chat bot on your website or an instant support line in your business, and it's very different for different businesses. However, if you have a business where immediate support is preferred or immediate support is required in order to function, like for example, if I'm at a restaurant and I have an issue, I would like to be helped right away. Or maybe I'm at a hotel at the front desk and I'm having some sort of issue. I want to notify somebody right away. I'm not going to wait until the next day. You know what I mean? But if it's something a little bit like more long term, for example, if I'm reaching out to my doctor, he's probably not going to respond to me right away, right? So it's very industry specific. So keep that in mind. However, I believe that many businesses can add an element of that 3-second response. It's like, hey, when you email us, you're going to get an automatic response that we heard you, we received your email, and we're going to get back to you as soon as we can solve your problem. That makes a world of a difference. The third thing is something I call the rule of 2. So for every one promotional post that you post on social media, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is, just make sure that you have 2 engaging posts, maybe like a poll or a quiz or something like that. Something that's just engaging people and keeping them engaged on your profile, interested in your profile, and then you can post some promotional content. It should never just be promotional content. The fourth one is a follow-up system for your clients. So let's say you have a new client that just onboarded, they just started working with you, and it's important that whenever you have a touch point with them, whether it's a meeting or a call or whatever it might be, you want to make sure that you can follow up with some clear action items, maybe just a quick check-in within 24 hours of that meeting. That allows them to feel engaged, they feel supported, and they're more likely to complete those things that you asked them to do on that meeting. Number 5 is a daily employee check-in. So basically, you don't have to spend 15 minutes or even 20 minutes doing this. You could literally check in for just a couple minutes, 1, 2, 3 minutes, however long it takes. Just make sure you check in with each one of your employees, see how they're doing, see how their day is going, see if they need support with anything, and that's gonna really show that you're invested in the team's success, and it's gonna build culture beyond what you can imagine. So if you're an employer and you have employees, just make sure you check in with each one of them for at least a minute a day, because that gives you valuable insights on what's going on with the team and what could potentially be happening with clients and future business and stuff like that. So very important. Number 6 is the 5x5 rule for client presentation. So this basically means don't create a massive presentation deck. Don't create a 50-slide presentation deck. Create a 5-slide presentation deck with no more than 5 bullet points on each one. Otherwise, it just becomes overwhelming. Nobody really wants to listen through this whole thing. But I promise you, if you can stick to the 5x5 rule, you're gonna have 5 awesome slides. And this is content slides that we're talking about. You can have an additional cover and an end slide, right? But 5 content slides with no more than 5 bullet points each, and that allows the content to be consumable and memorable for your client. Number 7 is time boxing your time in order to improve your efficiency throughout your day. So whenever you have certain activities or certain parts of the day that you perform certain activities like meetings or client calls or internal meetings, or it's just a time for you to work in quiet and peace, right? Make sure you time box those so that you know specifically what you're doing in certain parts of the day, because otherwise it kind of becomes this unplanned mess. It's like, oh, well, whatever seems important in the moment, that's what I'll do. So it's important to time box and then specifically demarcate 1 hour of the day. You can call it your power hour. And during that 1 hour, you have no distractions, no phones, no notifications, no meetings, nothing. All you have in that 1 hour is an opportunity to work on your most important task. So just try that for 1 hour a day. Do a power hour, focus on your most important task for that day, and just get it done. And finally, and this is probably one of my most favorite ones, honestly, this is number 8. You have to have something called a 2-minute rule in your life. Now, the 2-minute rule, this is like one of my favorite rules ever. It really helps you take care of things on your to-do list. Now, it feels like, and I mean, I've been in this position myself personally, where I always felt like my to-do list just kept growing and growing and growing and growing. And in reality, many of those things don't take that long to accomplish. So when I was looking at this list, I'm like, how does it keep growing? I feel like I do so much every single day, but the list just keeps growing. So I use something called the 2-minute rule. If you have a task that comes up and it takes you less than 2 minutes to do it, you should just do it right away. Don't put it off. Don't put it on your to-do list. Don't think, oh, I'll do this later. Just take care of it right away. Stop what you're doing. Take care of this one thing that's going to take you less than 2 minutes, and then continue with whatever else you're doing. Otherwise, you're just building a never-ending to-do list, and you're never going to get through all those things because you just keep putting these 2-minute items there, and they're just random little tasks. And so for me, what's been super, super efficient is just knocking it out right then and there before I even have a chance to put it in my to-do list. I just do it really quick, and then I'm done. And my mind is free. I don't have to think about that 1-2 minute thing that I need to do. And I can start focusing on the rest of the things that I need to accomplish. So that's the 2-minute rule. Guys, those are the 8 things that I would do in my business if I wanted to improve the operations, make it more efficient. And these are just super practical things that you can apply to your business today. And I assure you that it's going to improve your business operations, and maybe even more than you imagine, because it's, all these things are good in theory, but once you put them into practice, you see how much of an impact they actually have on your efficiency and your ability to deliver to your clients. Alrighty guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.